Alright, hello and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to be talking about my sketchbook. This book, she's a mess and I love her because I think your sketchbook needs to be like the messiest place in the world. Your sketchbook should not make sense. Your sketchbook should be a garbage dump, and I stand by that statement because why else would you have a sketchbook? Sketchbook is supposed to be a place where things aren't perfect, where you can make mistakes and you can mess up and everything's fine. Because I know I share my sketchbook, but that's because I'm proud of it, because I'm proud of how messy it is. But you honestly don't need to share your sketchbook with anyone if you don't want to. But yeah, I'm just gonna be talking about like some ideas to just mess up, some ideas to be dumb and to just be playful with your sketchbook. And I know I'm saying this like kind of like in a meme way, like, oh, it's dumb, like it's stupid, but you will learn. Like you will learn techniques, you will learn how to express yourself, to find your style. You'll be practicing, and that's what matters with a sketchbook, is to just be practicing. So yeah, I'm just gonna show a couple ideas that I have that I do in my sketchbook that will just help you to practice and be playful. So the first thing that I do in my sketchbooks a lot of times is kind of just like childlike playful drawings, and it's kind of like, it looks childish, it looks like a 5-year-old could have drawn them, but I think this is one of my favorite things to do to warm up. Especially I kind of use these in this is kind of my style of sad buddies. If you kind of follow along with some of the comic stuff I do, I like to do these types of things, and it's just a great way to like play around with color and to fill up a page, because I feel like with sketchbooks we're very intimidated with like a blank page, because you see this and you're like, what should I do? I'm intimidated by this, I'm overwhelmed. But in reality, this doesn't take that long to do, and it kind of feels like you've made something and you're starting out, you're warming up, and you've got something going with it.
For these pages, I kind of treat them like a mind dump, where I'm not thinking too much about the details and making sure everything is really perfect and really analyzing it. More, I'm kind of just making sure things are loose and I'm getting ideas onto the page. Sometimes with these pages, if I really like it, I end up expanding on them more. I like to turn these types of drawings into kind of digital drawings, and I put them on Sad Buddies, my comics, or I just make them into kind of a digital thing, because I've already got the plan out there on my sketchbook and it's something that I want to expand on, so I'll do more drawings of it later on. I think the main point that I'm trying to get across here is just trying to get over the fear of having a blank page and not knowing what to do, because once you've made a couple of these silly little pages, you can now expand onto it and make more pages because you've kind of warmed up and now you're ready to go. So give these little drawings a try, because they can always lead to bigger ideas.
So another thing that I do is I'll watch a movie or a TV show and then I'll make thumbnails and draw them. So as you can see here, I was watching the movie Identity Thief and I gave myself 1 minute to draw thumbnails. And as you can see, like, these are memes. These aren't masterpieces, but it does help you to like identify like the composition of like a piece, and like try and find like different angles of a camera shot so you can practice those types of things. And like, you're only going to get a minute to do it, so of course you're going to be moving quick, you're going to be moving fast, and you end up with something kind of like funny like this. Like, of course I'm not expecting some big thing to come from it, but it does end up being like a useful thing, because you're watching a movie already, so while doing a sketchbook you kind of feel like you're doing something while watching the movie.
I'm also not gonna lie, I'm the type of person that can get very easily distracted and lose focus on a TV show, so doing something like this actually helps me to focus more on the TV show. I was recently just watching You season 4, as everyone is right now because it just came out, but I found myself kind of losing interest. But as I was doing these thumbnails, I was able to kind of refocus and get back into the show because of it. So in another perspective, this can also be a great thing to do, like if you're at school, if you're doing lectures, you can find something to draw, because it kind of help you to focus and listen in on what you're learning about. Another reason why I like this exercise is because it kind of teaches you how to draw fast and quickly and not have to rely so much on like being very technically correct. I aspire to be like those people who go to a park and just sketch people, or like sketch people in a cafe. That seems like a really cool thing to be able to do. So I think this exercise kind of helps with that, because you might not have the time to be able to sketch things really like slowly and like put a lot of time and detail into it. So this can help you to like make sure you try and work quickly and try to make something good out of it. And as you can see, these drawings aren't the best, but the process was way better than the product. So this was an exercise that I would do in my comics classes and also my English classes. If you didn't know, I have a degree in English literature and creative writing, so I've done a lot of this. But basically what you do is you take a page from a book or a comic and you kind of do a deep dive into it. You do like a full-on analysis and you talk about the things you like, the things you hate, just how the things, like many different things like the composition, the colors, the wordings, like the motivations that the author has put into this work. And by analyzing different people's work, you can see how you can interpret that into your own art, into your own style, into your own drawings. So I decided to do this with a page from Heartstopper because I'm reading that right now. And the first thing I did was just copy out the page that I was going to analyze and did it just as best as I could, trying to sketch out the exact same thing, just copying it onto the page. I think sometimes one of the good qualities of sketchbooks is when they're not fully just filled with drawings, but they also have like writings and letters and like research into different things, because you can tell that like a sketchbook has been used for like learning instead of just kind of like a place to just store drawings. It's really like, it's good to see that sketchbooks are a place to learn and a place to mess up and a place to just keep your findings. It just makes it feel like the book has been really used and really lived in, and there's kind of a piece of someone's kind of learning history that's stored in there. I feel like it's kind of like the same kind of energy if you were with those kids who drew eyeballs in your exercise books when you're doing math class or something. Like that's the kind of energy that a sketchbook gives me. Like you're learning, but you're also doodling, and it also somehow looks really coherent and nice at the same time. So after you've done copying out your favorite parts of a page, you can then just write about the qualities of those pages or those frames or panels that really stood out to you so that you can remember why and you can incorporate that into your own work. I've also done kind of reverse versions of this where I took a page that I actually really was bothered by and talked about the things that I didn't like and the things that really kind of irked me so that I don't incorporate that into my own styles and my own pages, and I can really decide what I like and what I don't like in my art. This is also really great if you're wanting to kind of dip your toe into comics or graphic forms. It teaches you a lot about just like the formatting of a page, learning about things like panels, gutters. It's a great way to be able to learn a different type of medium. Maybe you want to dip into something else. If you want, you can also do this with like paintings or with like, it doesn't have to be just strictly comics and graphic forms you can do this with. You can do this with so many different things and just write about and do research. The main point of what I'm trying to say is go out and find a piece of work that you admire and write down why you like it and how you could see that being incorporated into your own style and your own work. So of course this isn't the type of page that you would photograph and put on Instagram, but it is showing that you are learning, you are putting in the work, and you are growing as an artist. So I hope this video teaches you a couple of things. First, I hope it teaches you that your sketchbook does not have to be pretty all the time. I know that there's lots of sketchbook flip-throughs that have beautiful sketchbooks, but most of the time in reality, these sketchbooks are being used to learn and to make mistakes and be messy. Because in order to get all those beautiful drawings and paintings and sketches, there's probably a lot of pages that are actually really messy and kind of boring. But it does show that if you do put in the work and put in the time to practice and develop your art, you will get some beautiful things. So hopefully you don't get too intimidated by blank pages. You can use some of these tips and ideas to fill up your pages and try new things. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you grab your sketchbooks and make some very messy art, and I'll see you in the next video.